on Disney Plus, and also, I'm just going to primarily talk about Spider-Man coming to Disney Plus and the re-release of Spider-Man No Way Home in September. I really wish this thing would play ball because it's just being a pain in my arse. Just come on. Why is the? There you go. Right, finally. My X button was not registering for a second. I was really worried because this is my go-to controller. But yeah. Oh, appropriate suit. So, this stream, I'm just going to be talking about my thoughts on the Spider-Man movies dropping on Disney Plus and also the re-release of No Way Home. I'm not going to be talking Kenobi in this stream because it's primarily a Marvel stream. However, I will also not be talking about Ms. Marvel because I do not want to... I don't want to make this a negative stream. Spoiler alert, I'm not enjoying Ms. Marvel at the moment, but I might talk about it in another stream. I don't know. I have no intentions of finishing it. I'm really contemplating just waiting for New Rockstars to break down each episode, and I'll watch them because I really like New Rockstar. I think he's a cracking YouTuber. Apart from the way he just kind of forces his ads in, like it annoys me. But at this point, I just skip past him. But yeah, right. So where do we get? Right, Spider-Man dropping on Disney Plus. So as of tomorrow, the 17th of June, 2022. Coincidentally, 5 days before Multiverse of Madness is released on Disney Plus, which I think is quite appropriate because Spider-Man and Doctor Strange have had a lot to do with each other lately. On the 17th of June 2022, we will be seeing the original Spider-Man film from 2002 as well as its sequel, so Spider-Man 1 and 2, plus the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and also Spider-Man Homecoming. So we are seeing both of Andrew Garfield's films, two of Tobey Maguire's films, and one of Tom Holland's films dropping on Disney Plus. When I saw this, I screamed in happiness. I am so happy that we are now finally getting Spider-Man on Disney Plus. I was a little bit confused as to why we didn't see Far From Home or Spider-Man 3. However, I do believe they will come at a later date. I just don't think Disney Plus in the UK are overloading us at the moment, especially with Multiverse of Madness dropping in just 5 days or 6 days time from this video. But yeah, I'm so happy. I grew up with the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield films. I grew up with them. I think I was about 4 the first time I ever watched the first Spider-Man film, which was actually the year Spider-Man 3 came out. I never saw it in cinema. I didn't actually see a Spider-Man movie in cinema until The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so that film does hold a very near and dear place in my heart, despite what people say about it. Make sure no one's calling me. But yeah, in terms of what my thoughts on the others not dropping yet, I have to admit, I think they are coming. I'm a little bit confused as to why they're not, but I'm hoping that they come soon. I personally don't think we're going to see No Way Home on Disney Plus until next year, if I'm being really honest. I don't think they'll want to release the regular version of No Way Home on Disney Plus before the No Way Home, the more fun stuff version. Only because that film, it's going to have more stuff to it, and I don't think Sony or Marvel want to do that. And also, these films are only dropping on Disney Plus in the UK, which I do feel quite bad about for American viewers and the rest of the world. However, selfishly, I'm living my best life because I get to see Spider-Man on Disney Plus. This is actually a pretty good thing for anyone who wants to fully watch the Infinity Saga. I know, yes, we still can't watch The Incredible Hulk on Disney Plus. I hope that comes soon. However, I'm not too bothered because I have The Incredible Hulk on Blu-ray. But in terms of like the rest of the Spider-Man films, I'm glad we're getting most of them. I think there's only 3 left that we need in terms of specific Spider-Man films. I do want to mention it briefly on Into the Spider-Verse. However, I'm not entirely convinced that will be coming just this I don't know. I think they will release it around the time of Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 drops. I think that's, or Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond it, yeah, they renamed it, didn't they? I think that's probably what I think is going, oh god, what I think is going to happen. I hope Into the Spider-Verse drops, because I love that film. It is a fantastic film. I think it's honestly, it's not, I don't think it's one of the best Spider-Man films, but it is one of the best films. I've just, it is definitely the best animated film I've ever seen, besides the Pixar films. I think, in terms of comic book animated films, Into the Spider-Verse is where it's at, because it actually looks like a comic book. You know, I think that's what makes it so special, and I really hope that they drop these films with the inclination that Tom, Toby, and Andrew show up in the in animated form. I think that'll be freaking incredible to see the live-action Spider-Man meet up again and reunite again on an animated front, because I think it makes no odds to me. I think I love the Into the Spider-Verse art style, and I really hope that the film just gets dropped on Disney Plus along with every other version of the character, because it, you know, from Disney Plus's launch, they've always had a Spider-Verse section. However, I've always ignored it because it's just a really crappy kiddie cartoons. I mean, the only one I actually like is Ultimate Spider-Man, or the first like season of it, because I was like really young when I saw it. And Spectacular Spider-Man, that's it. I love that film. Ow. Yeah, that was a Spectacular Spider-Man was a fantastic show, and definitely one I'm like really proud to have grown up with. But yeah, I'm just I'm in shock still that they are coming, especially the fact that they were announced just literally on Tuesday, and we're getting them on Friday. That is so good of Disney and Sony to work together on. I do think this means that in the UK we will see those films exit Netflix, only because I don't think they'll want that Sony will want them to be, you know, streamed on 2 platforms. However, I might be wrong. They might just keep them both on. I'll just be using the Disney Plus one because I don't have Netflix. If I did, I'd probably be talking about Stranger Things on this channel as well. But yeah, the possibilities are endless. I'm hoping that we see, obviously, the remaining Spider-Man films. You know, Far From Home, No Way Home, Spider-Man 3, Into the Spider-Verse, and personally, I want to see the 2 Venom films on there. I'm just ignoring Morbius at this point. I've yet to see it. A friend of mine says it's really good. However, she's also a massive Jared Leto fan, and I'm not really too fussed about him. So, you know, there's a bit of that personal bias, and like I don't know, I just don't really rate Jared Leto. But you know, Venom, I love Venom 1. I've still yet to see Venom 2. I really want to see Venom 2. I know Japan is getting the Venom films as well. They are getting Venom 1 and Venom Let There Be Carnage. I personally hope that this kind of confirms that we are going to see more interaction of the Spider-Man lore with the MCU, because they are, you know, Disney and Sony are finally playing ball again. You know, we had that issue about 3 years ago with you know, where they broke up, and Spider-Man was like for a month just departed from the MCU, which, you know, was stupid, was a pathetic thing at the time, but at the same time they sorted it out, and now look what's happened. We've finished Tom Holland's trilogy in the MCU, introducing the other 2 Spider-Men from the past into the MCU canon, as well as their lore. That's just beautiful in my opinion. We're now seeing Tom Holland's Spider-Man hopefully show up Into the Spider-Verse. I think it'll be really good to see his version of Peter Parker interact more with that universe's Miles Morales, especially because character-wise they're both on a similar paths, establishing themselves as a Spider-Man across, having known the multiverse. You know, you want to establish your own take on the mantle, and there's, you know, the identity of Peter Parker, in which, you know, it's each Peter Parker kind of stands out as their own character, despite being variations of each other. And that's what I love about, you know, I don't look at Toby's Peter and think, yeah, you're just another version of Andrew's Peter, and like, yeah, you're both just another version of Tom. In my eyes, they are separate characters. If I was to play a video game with all three of them in, I wouldn't want them to just be interchangeable skins. I'd rather they be their own separate character, because they each have their own style, they each have their own traits. The only things they really have in common is the basis of their origin stories and their name. Like, that's how different. Yes, obviously they have, you know, the typical nerdy traits. They're all very, you know, nerdy and geeky, and, you know, but some of them have a bit more swagger than others. You know, Andrew Garfield, he's a bit like your you know, your high school, the kid in high school that had no friends, but he was also pretty cool. Tom Holland's Peter Parker, he's very comic book accurate. He's very nerdy. He's very, you know, very timid as well. Tobey Maguire's is so geeky and so nerdy and kind of adorable with it. Also kind of comes off as quite neurodivergent. I'm not saying that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man has autism or anything, but as an autistic person myself, I can kind of see the see the resemblance between a lot of neurodivergent people and Tobey Maguire's take on Peter Parker. Not sure if that's ever actually been explored, whether or not Spider-Man has autism. I hope he does, just because then that's another way I can relate to the character. But yeah, it's honestly, I think Spider-Man dropping on Disney Plus is just amazing. Literally, I love. Yeah, it's kind of, I'm excited about it, but at the same time, it doesn't really mean too much to me, because the only films I don't have on either DVD or Blu-ray are Spider-Man 1 and 3, the original ones. I used to have them, but I moved house a few years ago, and the only one I could find was Spider-Man 2. However, with the films I don't watch or I don't intend on taking with me to university, I'm probably just going to give away, or give to people that can't afford Disney Plus or anything and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm so made up. I'm so made up. It's good for people who in the UK who want to do a full MCU rewatch of the Infinity Saga, because Homecoming is now officially going to be on there, which I think is fantastic. It is awesome that Homecoming is now on there, because, or is going to be on there, because the Infinity Saga Homecoming isn't massively integral to the Infinity Saga, but it is integral to Tony's development as well as Peter's, because obviously Iron Man does show up in Spider-Man Homecoming. He is he is an important character. He plays Peter's mentor, obviously. So it is quite important to see everything on there, because, you know, whatever we've missed out on so long Spider-Man wise, you've also missed out part on Iron Man wise, and, you know, Captain America wise, and just general world building, because that film does a lot on the more social front of Spider-Man, of the MCU. You know, we have the political front with Captain America, with the Avengers, with Guardians of the Galaxy. No, the Guardians of the Galaxy is more cosmic. Thor's more cosmic. Doctor Strange is mystical. Black Panther's quite political. Whereas, you know, Spider-Man and Homecoming, it's so social. You know, the villain, it comes from, you know, the aftermath of the Avengers massive. It brings the universe back down to reality, which is what I love. I love it. And also, like I said before, I do not want to talk about Ms. Marvel, but I think Homecoming did a much better job with the whole high school teenager stuff than Ms. Marvel did, in my opinion. I'm just going to leave that one there, because I do not want to cause any controversy. But yeah. Oh god, I still wish the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit was in this game. But yeah, I digress. In terms of Disney and Sony's relationship going forward, I hope that we see. I hope we can hopefully see some form of Disney Plus Spider-Man. We are getting Spider-Man Freshman Year. I will not ignore that. We are getting Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is fantastic because hopefully, once that series has been made, No Way Home and Far From Home will have dropped, so therefore we see the entirety of Tom Holland's story. Obviously, I do not think it'll be Tom Holland voicing Spider-Man in that series. It will most likely be the lad that did him in the What If episode. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm just, yeah. But yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen from here on out then, because it's quite significant. You know, could we see the Sony spin-offs drop on Disney Plus as well? I'm quite excited for the Madam Web one. I'm a big Euphoria fan, so you know anything with the Euphoria casting. You know, Zendaya plays MJ in the Tom Holland trilogy or the MCU Spider-Man trilogy. Sydney Sweeney, who plays Cassie Howard on Euphoria, love her, she's fantastic. She is lined up to join Madam Web, and that's what I'm really excited for that film. I haven't been too bothered about the fact that Sony's pretty much making a movie on every Spider-Man character now. I thought it was good with Venom, because he's a huge character in his own right. He deserves his own film, although I do think that Andrew Garfield in particular should be the Spider-Man that he goes up against, although I kind of doubt it at this point. I think they've done too many different things to illustrate that, you know, with the whole Roosevelt prison. But then you can also write that in to be something remotely, you know, remotely different. But yeah, in terms of the MCU and seeing, you know, past Spider-Man characters show up again, I'm not sure if it will happen. I'd love to see Tom, Toby, and Andrew show up again on live action in the MCU and establish more Spider-Man characters from the past in the MCU. You know, like Green Goblin, Doc Ock. But you know, No Way Home was beautiful in that regard, as I spoke about a while ago. If I did, I don't know. But yeah. I'm blown away with how the MCU ignored Spider-Man for so long because of the fact that legally he wasn't allowed to be in any of the films. But when they did, they were quite slow at introducing Spider-Man, key Spider-Man elements to the lore. You know, we never had Oscorp, we never had, you know, Roosevelt. We did have the Raft in Civil War, which I think could be used for future Spider-Man villains. I think that we will see Michael Keaton as the Vulture again. I'm not sure when. I think we will. I do think we'll see Matt Gargan, Scorpion. I can't remember the name of the guy who plays him. I think he's from Prison Break. I think he played the main character's brother. I have not seen Prison Break, so I don't really know. But I hope we see them two again. Because I would like to see a full-on Sinister Six. Now, arguably, No Way Home did the Sinister Six, however, it was more the Furious Five, because, well, actually, only four, or by the end of it, there's only one really main villain. Like, that's the general truth. There's only one, like, significant main villain of No Way Home, and that was Green Goblin. The rest of the film was curing the previous main villains of the franchise, which I think was awesome. But I would love to see a full-on Sinister Six, and hopefully see the three Spider-Men team up to face a full-on group. You know, you could do things like have Toby, Tom, and Andrew team up with Miles, and they have to fight, you know, all these other like villains that we've probably never seen before, or new iterations of, for example, a more comic accurate Rhino. There's so many good ones you can do. I would personally like to see Tombstone, however, I don't think he'd be a member of the Sinister Six. Tombstone, I think, is just, yeah, Tombstone's not really that, like, significant. other Spider-Man threat. I feel like he's more of a filler character, kind of like how he was in this game. He's more of a filler villain, just to kind of add more depth to the story. A very good side, you know, side villain or side mission. Right, got any more?
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
That works, commute.
Yeah, I'm just really loving talking about Spider-Man. In terms of the No Way Home re-release, I am so excited to go see that again. No Way Home was the first for me because it was the first time I ever saw a movie twice in cinema. I saw it with my friends, and I also saw it with my brother and my cousin. And I couldn't be any happier. Although the only downer to that day was I found out Danny Dyer was leaving EastEnders, which, you know, I digress. Its own thought in itself. But I can't wait to go see it again. I want to see more interaction between three Spider-Man, which we are getting. I hope it's more than 4 minutes. If the film's set to be 45 minutes longer, I'd love to see a lot more. You know, maybe a little bit more with Norman Osborn and the whole thing with that and Aunt May, and hopefully even seeing more of the fight that was meant to happen. I'd love to see the fight that was cut between Iron Spider and the Green Goblin. Also, personally, or in fact, might as well put him on now and brought him up. But the Iron Spider is one of my favourite MCU suits. Why did this keep happening to me? I love the Iron Spider suit. It has been dethroned, unfortunately, in terms of MCU suits. Because I loved the integrated suit, and I freaking adore the classic suit from the end of No Way Home. If anything, I would love to see an extension of the little montage at the end of the film with Peter in his new apartment and he's putting stuff together. I'd love to see him sewing the suit together, because that's something we've never actually seen. We've never seen any of the Spider-Men actually build their suit. We've never seen that. We've just kind of seen have them there. You know, I don't know why. I feel like it'd be quite symbolic to see that. Also, seeing how he designs it, quite like in the original Spider-Man film, there was the little montage of Toby designing his Spider-Man suit in terms of like the color scheme, the symbol, for the wrestling match he went to. That scene in itself was iconic. Seeing coloring the suit, that scene was just chef's kiss. It was beautiful. Such a well done scene. But yeah, I really am looking forward to seeing. I've said this so many times, and I do not care. I'm so happy to see the Spider-Man films on Disney Plus. It completes the Infinity Saga, or adds more to the Infinity Saga, and the only thing left to add is the Incredible Hulk and Far From Home. Hopefully, it leaves more potential with past Spider-Man films like Into the Spider-Verse, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Morbius, I guess, will end up on there at some point. Because it is a Marvel property, and you know, with Marvel adding the X-Men films on there, Marvel adding, you know, Deadpool, Logan, Dark Phoenix, you know, all the X-Men films, I guess, both trilogies. It does feel like we are going to see, we are very much going to see every Marvel movie under one name, which I think is fantastic, and exactly what Stan Lee would want, and Steve Ditko, and, you know, Jack Kirby is exactly what they would all want. Seeing them all together, I think that's what makes Marvel so special. So, you know, I really hope that happens, and also see him interact. I don't want to transition too much into Multiverse of Madness, because, you know, as much as I love that film, I've already made an entire stream on it, and also I just don't want to take away from Spider-Man too much. Right. There you go. There you go. They're all done.
And my collection is complete.
But yeah, like, Multiverse of Madness kind of allowed everything to just interact now. So if we wanted to, we could see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and, you know, Sam Wilson's Captain America interact with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Or Anthony Mackie, I don't know, you know. You could see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man interact with Yelena Belova. That's a personal duo I'd love to see. Tom Hardy's Venom interact with the Hulk. That, oh my god, the possibilities are endless, and now I think it's time to see everything just kind of come together and just mesh into a grand Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. I think that's the direction. Now we've done the clear Infinity Saga, which is just, you know, my favourite saga to date. It's time to just consolidate an entire multiverse of properties and franchises, and hopefully under the Marvel Studios name we get the grand crossover event of the multiverse. That would be just incredible, absolutely incredible. Bring back RDJ, bring back Chris Evans however you can, and then have the Avengers Assemble scene with the Fantastic Four, the Guardians, the X-Men, all the Spider-Men, and Venom, you know, or even like, all right, let me put this into perspective. I want to feel like I'm watching a movie of the Lego Marvel Superheroes video game. Now I know that's, you know, that game came out nearly 10 years ago. It's one of my favourite games from my childhood. I love that game to pieces, but it's kind of true. That game had everything, literally everything. The Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the Guardians, the X-Men, Spider-Man. You know, it had the one version of Spider-Man. It had Superior Spider-Man as well, which is pretty cool. You know, that film, that game had everything. I want to watch a movie that kind of feels like that game. That would be so cool. Or a game from using like the Marvel movie designs across the entire like multiverse. So you have, I don't know. I'm just kind of waffling at this point. I'm just going to check my messages quickly because my group chat's kicking off. What's on there? Okay. Alright. Yeah. I'm just really excited. I'm probably going to end up watching one of them tomorrow, actually. One of the films tomorrow. Not sure which one yet. Actually, no. I do want to watch the first Spider-Man film again, because it did come out 20 years ago, and I've yet to see it in commemoration of it releasing 20 years ago. I'm a bit gutted I can't do a full rewatch of the original trilogy. You know, the original Sam Raimi trilogy. But I do assume that they are kind of saving it. They're saving the other films, so we will see Far From Home and Spider-Man 3 drop at the same time. Hopefully we'll get a surprise with that, whether it be Venom or Spider-Verse. I'm just hoping we get something good at this point. Just having my hopes. Yeah. I wish there were more people here so I can just interact with them, but it's such a crazy time to be a Marvel fan. You know, I guess I could talk a little bit about Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel, in my opinion, sucks. I'm just not enjoying the series at the moment. I kind of look familiar. I'm just not enjoying the series at the moment. I thought episode 1 was alright with the whole Avenger Con thing, but episode 2 is just stupid. Like what I was saying before about the whole high school thing, they did it amazingly with Peter Parker. You know, he felt like a teenager, he felt a lot younger, and I get it that, you know, Kamala Khan is a high schooler, but I don't understand what's gone wrong. I don't know. I just think that they did it once, the first time really well, but the second time just doesn't feel as good. You know, it might just be my personal taste, The series is not aimed for my demographic. Oh, it's not aimed for me, which is fine. You know, not everything is. You know, I would rather watch a true coming of age story. It doesn't feel like a Marvel property. It feels a bit like a Marvel fanfic, which I guess is fine in a sense, because sometimes fanfics are awesome and they are really good. But it just doesn't feel like it actually adds anything. I know Kamala Khan's set to show up in the Marvels. Not entirely sure if I'm going to even bother seeing that in the cinema. I'd rather just watch that Secret Invasion and yeah. But at the same time, I might, if I'm convinced, I will go see it. If the trailer looks good, that's when I'll decide whether or not I go see it. But I don't know. I just think that what they're doing with Spider-Man, what they've done with like the Captain America, what they're doing with Doctor Strange, Thor. All of it just looks so much better than what they're doing with Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel. If I'm being honest, the character I'm most looking forward to seeing in the Marvels is Monica Rambeau as Photon. I loved her in WandaVision. She was awesome. And she had so much depth. She had more depth than Carol Danvers did. And that's saying a lot. That is really saying a lot. She had a lot more depth than Carol. Yeah. In terms of seeing Kamala Khan interact with anything Spider-Man related, just to kind of keep it relevant to the stream, I'm hoping that they leave Peter Parker alone for a bit. Just give him a break. The guy's literally lost everything. I did like the alright, I will admit, I did like the sorry, the drones from Far From Home. The Far From Home, yeah. Ow. I liked that. I did like it a lot, seeing them again. I didn't expect to see it at all, but since they are technically a stock property, Disney, I guess, has the rights to use it. And also the weird sus this Department of Damage Control guy that interviewed Ned. I thought he was pretty good. You know, seeing him again, I think it was really good. But you know, I think Ms. Marvel's just not really my thing. If I'm blown away by anything I see in the breakdown, I will go and watch the episode again. But I've been much more enjoying Kenobi, if I'm honest. I think Star Wars has pulled a U-turn, and Marvel's kind of took a little bit of a hit with Ms. Marvel, and in my opinion, She-Hulk doesn't look entirely convincing. I'm looking forward to it based on the Abomination stuff, and hopefully his indoctrination into the Thunderbolts, because that did get confirmed. There's a Thunderbolts movie dropping, which I can't wait to see the official announcement, and hopefully the cast and the lineup of it. It's kind of obvious that we're going to see John Walker as the Captain America figure. I'm hoping that the lineup for me is Taskmaster, US Agent, Ghost. I really want to see Ghost again. I love Ghost. She was a fantastic character in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I want to see what happened to her, because obviously they set out to try and rescue her. Scott went to the quantum realm to pick up some particle piece things to try and save her, and then in the process of doing so, the decimation happened, and Thanos snapped his fingers and, you know, killed everyone. But now we're at the what is it called? Now we're at the point where we don't know what happened to Ava. We don't know what happened to her. So, did she turn back to a life of crime to try and keep herself alive? Did she, you know, what happened? And if so, how does this link in with the Thunderbolts? So yeah, I'd love to see Ghost, Taskmaster, US Agent. I'd love to see Yelena Belova. She is one of my favourite MCU characters that have been introduced in Phase 4. I love her. I want to see Abomination. He's a big one. I was always hoping for Red Hulk, but You know, poor William Hurt, who sadly passed away a couple of months ago, so that's unfortunately not going to happen unless they recast. Which, you know, Marvel doesn't seem like they like recasting actors who are no longer with us. Which is fair enough in a way. I get it. I'm glad they didn't do it with Chadwick Boseman. I'm glad they didn't. You know, I don't think they would with Chadwick Boseman. I'm not sure about Thunderbolt Ross. I'm really not, to be honest. I think they probably recast him based on the fact that he was never a main character until about the Civil War time. I mean, to be fair, he had the longest break. Actually, no. Hang on. No, he did. He had the longest break between any actor in the MCU. He didn't play his role for 8 years. We didn't see, you know, we saw him in the first year of the MCU with the Incredible Hulk. We didn't see him again until 8 years later into the run with Captain America Civil War. Like, that was the general. So his role was never that integral until we got to about the that point in the timeline. And also another reason why I'm a little bit gutted by it is we'll never get a Hulk versus Red Hulk fight or reunion, because even though both Hulk and Thunderbolt Ross were at Tony Stark's funeral, we never saw them interact, which, to be fair, wrong place, wrong time, really. Oh, he should have punched his guy in the face. You know, I'm personally quite... Finally, that's that dealt with. But yeah, let's see, Taskmaster, US Agent, Ghost, Yelena Belova, Abomination. I wouldn't mind seeing Zemo. I'd love Zemo. I think he's a fantastic character. He was awesome in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Although I feel like he's done for a while, only because he's with the Wakandans. They obviously persecuted him for the fact that he was responsible for the death of T'Chaka. So I feel like he will be he's out of the picture for a while, which I haven't got a problem with. I would like to see him again with the purple mask. I think that was sick. I love that. Honestly, and this is a character that I do not think will be in the Thunderbolts, so I would love to see. I would love to see Scarlet Spider. I think that there's a fantastic opportunity to integrate the cloning system into the MCU after No Way Home. You know, maybe the traces of their DNA, the villain's DNA, was left, you know, from the rubble, and it led to the cloning, which could establish, you know, it could leave the door open for Alfred Molina to come back, or Willem Dafoe to come back, or Jamie Foxx, Rhys Evans, Thomas Hayden Church, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. You know, it would be great to see him come back through that. However, I'm looking more at Tom Holland here. His version of Spider-Man. I'm not sure if he'd be played by Tom Holland, but if it's a clone, it will most likely be. It could be an interesting way to carry on the deal and have Tom not play Spider-Man, but play someone else, even though it is technically Spider-Man. I'm not convinced it will happen. I think it will probably, if it was going to happen, it would be in a Spider-Man film and just a one-off, unless they, you know, it happens in a Spider-Man film and you know, Scarlet Spider survives and he becomes his own character and he gets recruited into the Thunderbolts. I think that'd be pretty cool. Deadpool is a popular one because he was, of course, a member of the Marvel Now iteration of the group, which is also the one where Red Hulk was a member. However, I'm not convinced that they'll do Deadpool just yet. Deadpool in the Thunderbolts just yet. I think he, you know, maybe for a sequel, Thunderbolt sequel, because I guarantee this is going to become a new franchise, much like Eternals has, Shang-Chi has. This will be the next. Blade is coming. This will be the next big franchise or new IP that Marvel takes on, which is great because it gives the Avengers a rest. You know, Kevin Feige has said on multiple occasions that Endgame was the final Avengers film of the core run. I personally don't think we need another Avengers film yet. You know, we're not. You know, yeah, okay, we're in depth into the multiverse saga, but we don't need to see it all come together yet. Like we're in the nitty gritty. We've tapped into it. Well, WandaVision was tapping into it. Loki did. What If did. Multiverse of Madness was kind of the consolidation of all of that, because it had elements of each, each production that led to the formation of Multiverse of Madness. You know, you had the TVA technology found from Reed Richards and Loki. I said that sentence completely out of order, but like, oh well, I'm not too bothered at this point. You know, the TVA technology was that was found in Loki was also used by Reed Richards in Doctor Strange, so it kind of alludes to the whole Nathaniel Richards thing, which is Nathaniel Richards thing, because it's, you know, Kang is a descendant of Reed, so Reed will become the main character. You know, I think this is why we'll see the Fantastic Four film before we see anything like Blade or Thunderbolts or Shang-Chi 2, you know, Doctor Strange 3. I think this is why Fantastic Four is the next one to be introduced. I think Thunderbolts will follow. But in terms of, you know, what's next, I think it's quite fitting that it's quite fitting that we see the seeds kind of planted. I don't think we'll see Deadpool show up. Where did I go? Yeah. If anyone's more likely to show up in the Thunderbolts, I'd say it'd be Frank Castle as the Punisher, because obviously the Netflix series have now been indoctrinated into the MCU canon, and John Berthel, obviously Shane Walsh from The Walking Dead. I bloody love that show. Yeah, sorry. Bring him in. I'm losing train of thought because I'm trying to play at the same time. No, this is going to be awful because I'm just literally lobbing a car door at people and then jump. That annoys me. I hope Spider-Man 2 sorts that out, because it's like, it's just stupid.
That's everyone. Glad I was here to help.
You saved my life. Thank you.
Okay, I'm kind of out on things to say, really. In terms of the next things we're going to be talking about, not in this stream, but probably I'll do a Star Wars specific stream after the end of Kenobi, because I'm loving Kenobi at the moment. But I don't want to keep making stream after stream after stream. I'd rather talk about Kenobi in entirety, which is, to be fair, I think a good idea. I get to talk about the whole series as a whole. I do want to make a stream based on how this is not really aimed at a specific thing, but it's just kind of the year 2022 as a whole. Like, obviously, it's been a bit of a mad year for me because I just left sixth form. You know, it was high school after 7 years. I want to talk about that in it as a whole. I'm just kind of letting the dust settle there before I find a job. You know, and also about the fact that a lot of things I grew up with are coming back. it won't be for permanent. You know, I don't think we'll see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield return on a regular basis, nor with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. I know Hayden's coming back for a few bits, you know, like the Ahsoka series, Kenobi, but I don't think it'll be for too much. You know, I don't think they'd do it. I think they'd rather just focus on the new blood. But yeah, just like things like the Lord of the Rings coming back, Harry Potter getting a reunion thing last year, or you know, this year. I think it's just a crazy year, really, for people that are people that are becoming adults, with a final glimpse of their childhood heroes, which I think is awesome. And I do want to talk about that in an entirety, or just as a whole, because it's happened with quite a lot of things. You know, I saw a post on Instagram, and it was literally 2020, you know, the year of returns after 17 years, or 18 years really. In some cases, over 20 years. Like Hayden Christensen, Toby, Andrew, Ewan, Patrick Stewart, obviously coming back as Professor X. I think we will see more surprises as well. This year in particular, we've got Liam Neeson coming back as Qui-Gon in the Tales of the Jedi series. Hopefully Kenobi as well. Hopefully, you know, there's so many opportunities and things that have been returning, and it's just awesome. It's so awesome to see these things come back, because it has been a really horrible couple of years, you know, with COVID-19 and all these wars going on and horrible things to deal with. The last good year I had personally was 2019. 2021 was 2021. But it is so good that we are seeing things that we loved as children come back as we enter adulthood. I think that's something that's really special and that should be held on to, really. Oh god. Oof, what a right hook. Oh, left hook. Sorry, I've got my left and right's right. Oh my gosh, so yeah, that's kind of round about it, really. A Star Wars stream would be great. A 2022 stream will be great. Personal stream will be my A-level, my high school experience, my sixth form experience. Not sure when I'm going to do that, because it will be quite emotional to talk about. And just so many other things. I've really gone off track now. I started off talking about Spider-Man on Disney Plus. I kind of said everything I need to say on that. I hope that we see Venom, Spider-Man 3, Far From Home, Into the Spider-Verse, and more stuff. You know, a personal one for me that I'd love to see would be a Disney Plus series on the Sinister Six. That would be pretty badass. It'll never happen unless I jinx myself, I think, you know. But yeah, that's just it, really. If you take a shot every time I said "but yeah," then I don't think you'll be walking. So that's just, you know, the end, really, of everything I got to say. 50 minutes, it's been a really good stream. Just talking about stuff related to one of my favourite characters of all time. You know, I bloody love this guy. I think everyone does. You know, you can't really beat. I'm going to switch to the Tobey Maguire suit again. Yeah. So that will be the end of this stream. Thank you so much for checking in. So whether you watched it live or after I finished streaming, you just watched the video that's released afterwards. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time, and peace out, guys. Bye bye.